Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Listen, so here's the thing. Let me move some characters around here real quick. Okay, so if you remember, our good friend Earl Red was getting ready to go and fight the the Horde, as part of his adventures for Dun Morogh. But then he realized, at the last possible second, that in order to fight his enemy, he would have to become his enemy. And in so doing, he would become one with Garrosh, and he could not abide that! And so Earl Red had to be destroyed. But meanwhile, Grandpa Red, the monk, who as of this exact moment in time, ready to join the Alliance or the Horde. Naturally, he was going to join the Horde. But then he had a vision of the future, knowing that the next thing he would have to do is get a speech from Garrosh, who would tell him that he must fight for Garrosh Hellscream. And the moment he realized he would be personally recruited into the Hellscream forces by Garrosh Hellscream himself, he knew what he had to do. And thus did the Mr. Reds leave the world of Warcraft. Forever! Okay, now let's see if I can see Brakewood. Well, no, obviously. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, hey! So Bragwin can invite me, so let me pop out. Let me wait for that invite. So Bragwin can see me, even though I cannot see her. I'm going to see how many times I can make this jump before she invites me. I'm already, like, just standing up. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to suggest we invite Papa Neeks. Okay, now toss me a lead, please. 3 clicks. So, to be clear, you should just be able to click this, right? Oh, shoot. No, I didn't mean to actually click it. No. Don't actually invite that person. Don't invite Kira White Noise. But for real, I do need party lead. We have to do a test. And now it's back to bouncing. The endless bounce. I used to do this to practice on my Hunter, because a lot of kiting on Hunter involved being able to turn around in mid-air like that.
Tell me.
Okay, let's do a simple one, shall we?
May the red crane live forever in your heart.
So being able to turn around in mid-air was kind of a thing. I do bounce here and there and everywhere, but... What? I see it. Are you two both time walking with Pandaria? Hang on. Only 21 days, Lunarith. No, hang on, Kira White Noise. I'm trying to figure out why those two can't do heroic scenarios. Okay.
You are most welcome. You have the eyes of one who has traveled much.
I don't understand this. It has to be teenage girls. That's very important, Mr. Red.
What wisdom do you seek? Slow down. Life is to be savored.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna give group lead back to Bregman for just a second.
You are most welcome. May you find mastery in your...
I do not meet the requirement for the chosen dungeon. Okay. It doesn't exist. There's no group finder for scenarios. Like, it's not even on the list. Hasn't been for years. No, if leaving time walking does it, then that's invalid. And that answers me for me. But you're right, in the interest of testing, I should leave time walking. Give me one moment, please. We will continue to test. I'll be right back. I agree with you, Huthor. We already know they really don't like us doing heroic dungeons when it comes to queuing.
Heroes of the Alliance.
Shut up, Raytheon.
Dragon Isles have opened.
Yeah, Raytheon, you don't exist anymore. More or less literally. I still don't get why they removed the Raytheon chain. I can go get the stupid Valinir from Ulduar, but I can't get the cloak from Pandaria? Why? Like, what possible point is there in doing that? Never mind the fact that it was functionally MSQ. Hang on, I'm not going to invite just yet. Hang on. Or I guess you need to invite, don't you? But whatever, not yet. Yeah, Raytheon's just, like, not here. It's really weird.
You have the eyes of one who has traveled.
That's all I needed to see. God damn it. Alright, okay. Go ahead and invite me, Bregman. Although, don't do anything yet. Well, that's fair. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to walk in and one-shot everything. Sorry, Bregman. Sorry. Hang on. He's right. I should do my due diligence. straight up one-shotting everything. Effortlessly. That is abandoned content. That is exactly how we have defined that. Alright, now go and invite me. Sorry, Bregwin. But I don't think it's the same for normals, and I'm going to be thorough about this. But in order to properly be thorough about this, you have to give me a second.
It's like meeting again for the first time. Whatever you do, do not get between a Pandaren and their brew. It'll be unbearably painful if you do.
Even Chromie is getting in on the puns. And I've already answered you twice, actually, Euro. We're doing tech tests. We are determining exactly what is abandonment negatives for Pandaria. Now, I've actually already done a tech test of this. But let's be very thorough about this. Should only take me a few more minutes. God for dragonflying. Although I continue to be irritated that the portal room has a portal to the Jade Forest and not, you know, the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. I've never figured out why that is, too. Like, even this portal here varies a little bit depending on your layer, because the Jade Forest has a lot of layers to it. So that's not it. Mage's portal of the frickin' Veil. And the Veil has the portal back, too. Hi, Raytheon, who may or may not be there. Okay. Give me a lead, please. I should have asked for that on the way. Back to bouncing. Oh, there we go.
What wisdom do you seek?
Enough of that.
Well, they're not dying instantly, so that's a good sign. Unfortunately, we are on what can only be referred to as easy difficulty. You know, one of the things I liked most about scenarios, heroic scenarios to be very specific,
Target change.
they were actually hard. Like, they were pretty mean. Fun to do, too. They abandoned them immediately. They came out in one patch, and they never came out with any additional ones. Yeah, for heroics, you generally would actually want to bring a tanky healer into Deeps. Take one guess why. People are dumb. So this is the brew some kind of festival involving booze. So easy, all we're gonna do is review the story of these, but you know, whatever. This village is actually there in the Jade Forest, funnily enough.
Interrupt.
At least the boss here has some help. Yeah, I've got mods.
Of your travels.
Hell, half your screen you're looking at right here is mods. I have very little of the original interface still on. There's a couple pieces here and there. There's tons and tons and tons of mods, but if you're looking for something to make yourself look like, oh, I don't know, like a lich as you're wandering around, that's actually against the TOS. Like, a lot of things are against the TOS. As you might imagine, since it's a multiplayer game. But they have tremendous mod support, some of the best mod support in the business. Oh god, Huthor, you're probably right. What's funny? I liked Torghast. And I liked the expeditions. Go figure. Yeah, they've been talking about rolling back some of the mods. I mean, what's your fig? The thing I can't even think of the name of. The add-on I don't even use. Oh god, what's it called? Help me out here. The big one. WeChorus. WeChorus is basically just a programming language in the game, so you can just write your own code and do whatever with it. Like, you can do absolutely crazy things with WeChorus. Yeah, exactly. No, WeChorus is silly. In terms of what it can do, I mean. I will admit, if you wanted to be in my raid team and you ran no mods, I would be like, alright, let's see what you can do. Because it would be difficult to believe that you could keep up without mods. I'm not saying you can't, I've seen it happen. Just hard to believe, that's all. I can actually point to one person in my life I have raided with who did not use mods. And one person who was a keyboard turner. And that's actually even worse than no mods. How does mods improve skill level? Mods improves awareness. And situational awareness is, I'd say, 80% of WoW raiding. Being able to understand who's doing what and who's doing where, who has what buffs, who has what debuffs. That kind of a thing. Situational awareness is key. Critical, one might even say. Oh, nice, Papa Neeks. I especially like the staff. The Brewmaster staff. Keyboard turners. Okay, let me take my hand off of my mouse. Keyboard turner does something like this. I need to turn around. And then they turn. Oh, hang on, I can turn around again. And then they turn again. Keyboard turning is objectively worse than mouse turning. Now, some people can make that work, and they're crazy. But generally speaking, if you're a keyboard turner, I'm going to be a lot harsher on you as a raid leader than anyone else. In a raid situation. Yeah, it's like, hang on, again, take the hand off the controls there. This keyboard turning. Whee. Okay. I've known like 3 in my career. One of which I actually had to kick out of the raid once. No, before you think too harshly of me, I should explain. We were doing the achievement on Sindragosa. Now, I've actually already talked about that, but for those of you who don't remember, one of the primary things about that achievement is being able to move extremely quickly. As in, within a second or two, being able to be like, whoop, and turn around. Whoop. Just like this. Keyboard turning physically could not do that, so I had to kick that guy from the group. There was no other choice. He was dragging it down for the entire raid, and I'm not going to let one person ruin 24 people's days. Oh, I don't feel bad about it. Look, I'm sorry, I've been a raid lead. It's a little bit different than, you know, being a guild lead or just hanging out with friends. I'm in charge of a team as a raid leader. While we're here, there's actually one other scenario that's kind of story agnostic. And it's this one.
Goodbye.
These are both tales, which we're just kind of doing for fun. Yeah, Huthor, the problem is there really is a bit of an arms race between mod users and raid designers, and there has been forever. Not in WoW, in gaming in general. This goes back to like Counter-Strike, with people who would use keyboard macros, right?
Good brew requires an abundance of...
You made it! The boiler and the brew kegs are in place! All we need is Mother Nature to work her magic! What do you say? I did it earlier, Papa Neeks. It was actually what I started the entire stream on today.
You never know what wonders you will see.
I happen to like this scenario, even though I did it a bunch during the Pandora remix. So, lightning comes in, it hits spots, we avoid spots. Anytime the lightning hits the brew kegs, they have a chance to light on fire. So we rush up and deal with them. We also have Sarok attacking, because they're here to steal our booze. Remember, Sarok are barely sentient, so they actually don't have the ability, near as I'm aware of, to make alcohol. That's okay. They're also marauders. Marauders isn't even the right word. What Sarok are scavengers. Yeah, think of them like animals. No, it's fine, Papa Neeks. We don't need it. We're good. We're just here to have fun. I like this first sequence, though. It's not hard at all, especially on normal. And I'm going to be honest, I am disappointed that we can't do heroic scenarios. Sadness. But that's okay. It's okay. I was hopeful, but not expecting it. I should be clear, Blade Traval. The raids I'm talking about are at the highest end of the difficulty curve. You know, how like in FF14, the highest raid teams also require you to use mods, because you're doing the highest difficulty stuff. What I just described, the Sindragosa 25, a heroic achievement, that achievement is insane. It's one of the hardest things I've done in the entire game. Not the hardest. Yeah, nobody cares if you're doing a normal or an LFR and you're using add-ons around. Nobody gives a crap. You're fine. And yeah, actually, good follow-up point to that. If anybody gives you flack for not using an add-on in normal mode or an LFR, they're probably someone not worth listening to. It's a good way to put that. But yeah, by the time you get to Mythic difficulty, yeah, you probably want some add-ons there. There's a lot of moving pieces to pay attention to in Mythics. And the margin for error is smaller. In normal mode, if you screw up, what's probably going to happen is one of the other player members is going to have to recover for you. They're either going to have to pull an ad off you, do more DPS to accommodate your lacking DPS, or they're going to have to react to something quicker, like interacting with something or dispelling something, or the healer will have to try and catch up with the amount of healing you are now requiring because of your screw-up. In Mythics, if you screw up, what you probably just did is you probably just wiped the group. It's not uncommon for guilds to have their own weak aura setups for specific fights, too. I actually think the correct answer here is to just bake several of the add-ons into the default UI. And in the interest of fairness and honesty, they have been doing that. It's been gradual, but they have been slowly adding add-ons to just the interface. I will admit I'm in the minority here, but I don't mind add-ons being mandatory for the hardest difficulty, for the same reason I don't mind certain builds or specs being mandatory for the hardest difficulty. It's the hardest difficulty. Like, it's the stuff that 0.5% of the players are even going to see, never mind actually get any progress in. See, the answer there is easy, Huthor. Hey, creative team behind insert add-on here. We want to make your add-on official. Some of you may or may not know this, I think Huthor knows this, but a lot of the actual default UI stuff is an add-on, in terms of code. If you go check your add-ons folder and you have no add-ons installed, you will find add-ons there, because Blizzard designs its own interface as add-ons. So just baking existing add-ons into default is the thing you can do. Is she coming? Oh.
One must always make time for new brews.
Well, I wonder if they changed that here. Or maybe they moved it. Either way, my statement is true. They do code their their interface features as add-ons. They may have moved it from the add-ons folder, which, actually, now that I say that out loud, that makes sense. I'm sure people are getting confused about having stuff in the add-ons. Like, I didn't install any add-ons. Delete, delete, delete. Hang on, your install is broken. Let me reinstall these for you. Emily lived with 6% health. Oh, well. GG, as the saying goes. So that's our first two scenarios. Fun enough, despite the incredible ease. Well, that's an interesting question, Yura. It would be foolish of me to not acknowledge that add-ons have played a role in raid design and boss design. But that's been true since vanilla. That's never not been true. I mean, there were add-ons that were essentially considered mandatory in vanilla for higher-end rating, and they designed fights around those add-ons. I don't know what else to add to that. Okay, so we did that, we did that, we did that. Let's go ahead. First of all, thank you, Bragwin, and thank you, Papa Neeks, for joining me for that. I mean, that makes sense, Huthor. Why wouldn't he, right? Or she, or hit, or they. I'm going to leave this character right here for doing scenarios in the future. Because, yeah. Good news is we only need 3 people for scenarios. Okay. So first we're going to do Horde. So let's get our monk. That's a good question, Predictable. And the answer is so extensive, I can't actually answer you in one sentence, if you know what I mean. Initially, not much happened when Active Blizzard first became a thing. Most of Blizzard was allowed to just kind of do their own thing. Just double checking a few things. That's there. Make sure that's there. Looks like I am all given. Well, you say that, Verlicht, but it's not necessarily a given.
Time for you.
Okay, we're already in Pandaria.
It's like
Good, good,
meeting
good.
again for the first time.
Yeah, imagine a Pandaren punching you with his just general power. Remember, Pandarans are giants in lore. And then also keep in mind there's a bunch of ki behind the punch. So it's like a really strong guy punching you while empowered with spirit energy. Like, he'd probably literally crack your skull. Anyways. Oh, I am missing something. After that, however, while some people will disagree with the specifics, I will say based on my own research, and I have done my own research on the matter, Blizzard got worse and worse and worse and worse under Bobby Kotick, and I do very specifically single him out for that. There's other people involved, but all of them were all cronies, more or less literally cronies, of Bobby Kotick. So, there it is. I think that's everything. Yep. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Hi, High Lord Darian Mograine. Bye, High Lord Darian Mograine.
I am pleased to report that the battle at sea goes well, War Chief. Our forces report decisive victories off the coasts of Daenerys and Tol Barad.
Alliance blood spills. This pleases me, General.
There's more. I received word that our southern fleet engaged an Alliance envoy. We chased the royal flagship until it ran aground.
Aground? Where?
Apparently, they found a massive, uncharted landmass, shrouded by dense mists.
And you let the Alliance get there first? Redirect the invasion fleet. General, you and your best veterans will pave our way. Storm the shore and paint this new continent red!
Yeah, notice that his immediate ire is just at the fact that the Alliance got there first. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He sees red whenever he thinks of the Alliance. It is just a berserk button for him.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Alliance.
By the way, Nazgrim, we saw him in Vashir, and we saw him back in Wrath. So, third time around. You hear that, Bavurl? They're Alliance that need killing, and I need to round up a veteran crew. You're coming with me. We won't be returning till our assignment's complete, so round up your things and make ready. I'll be aboard the newly commissioned gunship over Bladefist Bay. Don't keep me waiting.
Hellscream's eyes are upon you.
Oh yeah, and funny fact, the airship we're about to join is, if my counting has been correct, the last Horde gunship that's currently in function. And will remain so until Legion, actually. Horde gunships have a tendency to crash.
For the Horde.
This will be her maiden voyage. Ain't she a beauty?
Our orders stand, no matter the cost.
You smell that, Bavurl? It's the smell of our home. The lands our kind have bled and died to preserve. And listen, do you hear that? It's the sound of peace and safety. A haven we've carved, where our enemies fear to tread. Remember these things. You won't experience them again anytime soon. We have ourselves a war to win.
Fear nothing. The Horde shall prevail.
Yeah, no kidding, Uthor. I think it's one of the only ones. If not the only one.
We've been flying in this mist for hours, General. The crew grows uneasy.
Hi,
Back
Gorok.
to your post, soldier. We'll find this land, or die trying.
Land ho!
Alliance ship! Port side! Attack!
Oh, we're waking up dead again. It's supposed to be cat all over the place. Okay, okay. I'm awake, I'm awake. And I'm from the future. I'm here to save Ben Kenobi.
Blood and thunder.
Bavurl, they told me you were dead. I'm glad to see it isn't true. There's Alliance to kill, alongside Scruffy Bragwin, who's a shaman apparently.
May our foes flee.
They shot our engines and we floated here. Here! Right in the firing line of the enemy. You know what to do. Get down to the deck and man the guns. Show these scum that they are in our line of fire.
Come what may,
Let's do it. Death to the Horde. Whoever we're fighting. Death to the people who are not us. They said we look like jerks.
Ain't true! Send them limping back to Stormwind!
There were several specific examples of things where several of Codex' cronies asks things like, why aren't we monetizing such and such? We could be making more money here. And the answer was always something along the lines of, that'll just piss off our player base. We don't want to monetize and then lose players. They were overridden on most of those.
Hey, how you doing?
Superior Horde firepower at its finest. And you did okay too, I guess. Thanks. Any agility staffs? Ooh, there is actually one.
Be good.
Nazgrim's take command of the ground assault. Request you meet up with them immediately. We got several repellent ropes if you happen to be one of those classes that don't have the ability to slow fall. Which, as it happens, I am playing one of those. Woo! So I'm not sure I understand your question, DeCastus, but yeah, all of the lore runs are still there. In fact, there's a playlist just for lore runs, and then each lore run has its own playlist to help keep things organized on the YouTube channel.
The tip of the Horde spear.
There you are. I was starting to worry we'd have to charge in and do all the fun without you.
Our order.
This staff, along with all the other rewards from the quest we just did, are actually from the Colosseum, the Trial of the Crusader back in Wrath. We've softened them up. Now it's time to finish them off. That fortress must be cleansed of Alliance, and we've got nowhere to keep any prisoners. You know what to do. The cowards will run if you give them a chance. See that you don't.
Come what may. We
Also,
fight on.
it's not enough that we destroy their forces. Nothing must be left for them to salvage. Take this flare gun. Fire it into their munition stockpiles. Leave them nothing.
Scream's eyes are upon you.
We will attack from opposite sides, Monk. The Alliance won't expect a ground assault this quickly. Find me when the slaughter is over. Death to the Alliance! And death to the living! Oh god, monks. Taran looked kind of terrifying doing that attack. Holy crap. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so I think I understand the crux of the question. You're asking on the list, which I usually just refer to as the list, how do I distinguish between which type of run each is? The good news is I don't, because there is no second type of run anymore. Every run we do is what I like to call a lowercase l lore run. In other words, we're always going to talk about the lore, right? I mean, come on, of course we are. I feel like this should be here instead. Is it possible for me to stream and not talk about the lore? But, though it may be invisible to other people, it's actually quite different from my perspective to do a lowercase l lore run and a capital L lore run. Capital L lore runs involve a tremendous amount of additional time and research and prep work, and all kinds of other stuff under the hood and behind the scenes to line it up and present it in a specific manner. In other words, it's supposed to be kind of a guided tour / discussion of all of the lore and behind the scenes of a given game. Lowercase lore runs is just us discussing things, like, for example, the quest we're going through right now. As we're going through this quest, what I find most interesting about this entire division that we're pushing through here is up here essentially by accident. We'll see a little bit more about why when we go through this on the Alliance. Oh yeah, capital L lore runs also involve cheating, constantly. No, Triaxia, they're gone. Dead and gone. So shall they remain. So yeah, review runs, obviously we try very, very hard not to cheat because it's kind of hard to properly gauge the gameplay of a game when you're cheating your balls off. And yeah, as Huthor points out, lore runs were not and were never intended to be reviews. Though they do kind of cheat, and I agree, Mr. Red. Plus to everything! Sorry. In all honesty, can I tell you guys a story? I've actually told you this story before, but I'm not sure I've told you the whole story before. Okay. Correct, DeCastus. Picture you're back in whatever year Pandaria came out. Also true, Wrecker Spirit. As I like to say, the well has run dry. I've run out of oil. When did Pandaria come out? Hang on, now I gotta know. When did Pandaria come out? Wow, Pandaria. Kind of moving forward in the timeline here. It is September. Perfect. Nope, that tracks. Okay. So I want you to imagine for a moment. How does the invade a country analogy work in this sense? I've got it. Reaction content. I'll react to other people doing lore runs. So, it's 2012. PAX has quit WoW completely, and has been quit WoW for like, 2 years? Year and a half? It was a while. It was a nice, huge chunk of time. I'd been playing the whole time, but mostly doing solo stuff. Now, a patch came out, the last patch, which added Dragon Soul. I happen to like those dungeons, yay. And they even made the raid LFR capable, which was a brand new idea. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll go check out this LFR thing. And while there's some issues here and there, the fact is that LFR for Dragon Soul was actually pretty legit. Go figure. So, after running the raid for a while, me and Pax went off to do something else, and finally, they're like, alright, we're going to go ahead and we're going to release Pandaria. It looked alright, you know. I had no Kung Fu Panda precepts or biases, and I had been liking what they've been doing the last couple of patches for the most part. I was also tired of playing WoW by myself. It's pretty much the only time in my entire life that I've played an MMO solo. So I was trying to convince Pax to come back. He was like, alright, I'll give it a month. So we come back, we do the launch event, and as I've already told you, the launch event was hot garbage. I also was not a huge fan of the launch event. Nobody was a big fan of that launch event. It was really dull. So, immediately upon finishing the launch event, we're like, alright, cool, whatever, fine. We've got the free month, we might as well stick with the game and see what Pandaria is like. So we went ahead, popped in. We didn't make Pandarans initially. We were smarter than that. Pro tip. If you're ever playing at the very beginning of a new race or class, do not go make that race and class and play them at launch. All you will do is be absolutely flooded by hundreds of other players who did the same thing. We did that in Wrath. We did that in Kata. Don't do that. Give it some time. Let it filter out a little bit first. So we went to the Jade Forest. And the first thing we see is this series of quests.
Nothing shall stand in our way.
Good work, Monk. We'll have them on their heels.
May our foes flee before you.
We've learned their captain has barricaded himself in above us. The coward allowed his forces to die while he hid from our fury. Typical alliance. No matter. He cannot delay his fate any longer. I will scale the walls with my marines while you lead a frontal assault up the ramps. Use your flare gun. I'll meet you up top, and we'll destroy this pathetic excuse of a captain together.
Fear nothing.
So,
The Horde shall prevail.
yeah, that was the correct call on that front. So we get to these quests, and honestly, we're both just kind of rolling our eyes, because it's the stupid HVA again. It's like, really? This is what you're going with? This is your big hook at the beginning of the expansion. It's fighting the other guy. And both of us had been sick of this since vanilla. So this was not exactly what you'd call a big draw. We had already made plans to back out of Pandaria. Maybe try out that new FF14 A Realm Reborn thing. I don't know. We'll look into it.
Coward!
You scum will not destroy this land as you defiled Kalimdor!
Whoops. There goes that brand new airship.
What is... No. No! They had an airbase! A hidden airbase! My ship! My... Ah!
Notice he's losing color.
Scream will have my head!
An airbase. Had I known, I would have kept more men on the guns. I would have...
Hellscream's eyes are upon you.
And then this happens.
Must die. You, bear creature. What kind of sorcery was this?
Stranger, your own doubts have been made manifest. Pandaria is not like whatever land you come from. It lives and breathes. You should be careful what kind of energy you bring here.
Ha! We bring only our honor and the desire to crush our enemies. have your kind been aiding the Alliance?
It is not our desire to get wrapped up in your bloodshed. Now have your men lower their weapons. You will face 2 enemies on this continent.
Notice they do lower their weapons, though.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Alliance. Fear nothing. The Horde shall prevail.
The assistance of the nearby village has now become a necessity. We will need to use the village to regroup and tend our wounded. Perhaps the villagers will join our cause after seeing the brutality unleashed by the Alliance. You will act as envoy for the Horde. Ensure their cooperation. Do not disappoint me.
Our orders stand.
They have an airbase. I have underestimated this Alliance captain for the last time. So many good warriors lost. There must have been a few survivors who were able to bail during the crash. We need every able-bodied fighter we can get. Find as many survivors as you can in the forest below, and I will investigate the wreckage itself. Rally everyone at the nearby village for counterattack.
Come what may, we fight on.
I do not know the history of this war that you fight, and I am not interested. This land responds to negative energy in kind. The hatreds, doubts, and violence you bring here now ooze out of Pandaria like blood from an open wound. Your actions have wrought havoc on these ruins. Clean up after yourself, and meet me in the village below. I will do my best to explain what is happening here.
Pandaria is better off without you.
Oh yeah, really tiny little tidbit. Did you notice that this place is called Thunderhold? This Mogo stronghold? Also notice all the Alliance are dead here, and there's this strange energy here and there. Now, I've actually talked about this before. There is some evidence, not conclusive, that most people can't see that energy. We can. The player character can. Not everyone. There's bits and pieces here and there where people will act as though there's nothing unusual because they act as though they can't see the Shaw energy that's right there. Notice as you get right next to it, it also does an attack/debuff thing to you, which increases your damage taken, reduces your movement speed, and reduces your damage dealt. We'll talk about the Shaw later. That might be too much. Oh, we got this. We got this. Like I said, it's not conclusive, but I have to admit, I love the idea that most people can't even see Shaw corruption. I mean, honestly, we just saw that if you're thinking about it. Nobody was bothered by the fact that Nazgrim was becoming Shaw corrupted there, except for the one person who noticed it. Us. Oh, we'll talk about the Klaxi. And the Mented. I also love how they just kind of showcase the devastation of this place. This used to be a battle site, and now it's just a grave. But it's not a grave of the Alliance of the Horde, it's just a grave. By the way, once again going back to that Throne of Thunder thing, look at the statues that are holding up the terrace there. Just something to chew on. Anduin actually first started getting characterization back in Kata, in a scene that doesn't exist anymore. Yes, I'm still mad about that. Thank you for asking.
Come closer, friend.
Snap out of it. You're alive. We gotta go meet your boyfriend. She took a pretty nasty spill. The damage is horrific. I haven't been able to wake her. Oh, you mean she looked like this before the crash? I have an idea. An old brewmaster trick. There we go. Good as new, I guess. What happened? I barely made it off the ship before it went down. Thank you. I'll make my way to the village. Stay safe. See you around, Kieran.
Tell me of your travels.
The animals have all gone crazy. Normally the prowlers steer clear of the village, but now we can't seem to keep them away. I've never seen them act this way before. The mayor has been summoned in the Shadow Pan, but they're not all here yet. Can you help take care of the prowlers before they maul our farmers?
I hope to see you again soon.
Tell me of your travels.
Oh, just look at this mess. All that brew gone to waste. Torrin Zoo warned us against speaking to outsiders, but I'll take any help I can get. We were on our way to Dawn's Blossom to deliver our brew when the fighting broke out. Now all our brew has been lost. You want to make it up to us? Maybe you can find our honey brew barrels.
Next one is on me.
Notice the very specific tempo of the quests here, by the way. This is some fantastic narrative pacing. And even playing this for the very first time, both Pax and I started to notice the quality on display. Neither of us were expecting this to be good, it's worth noting. We were expecting to poke at the expansion until we got bored of it, put the game down and move on to other things. But right off the bat, they start off with a cutscene showing off Garrosh being an idiot, some HVA stuff, and a big, violent, loud battle charging up through, through the Thunderhold there, culminating in a cutscene, which apparently doesn't work for Bragwin. And then it's like, FF14 wasn't out yet, Magister. It was about to be, but not quite yet. FF14 wouldn't come out until 5.3. So, charge up there, big battle, move our way through it, get to the end, cutscene. And this Pandaren shows up, and he's like, look, go fix it. And we're like, okay. We come down here, notice the first person we have a quest to get to is standing right next to two quest givers. Lovely flow, by the way. So we're like, okay, sure. And the next couple of quests are, oh my gosh, the local animals are going wild, and you notice they're glowing with Shaw energy, and please get back our brew. And this is the music that's playing. You can feel that pacing there. My village will not enter your conflict, though I fear your arrival has changed our peaceful existence forever. Ah, whatever. Too much. Ah, heavy, but I can hold more. And also, we toss these kegs onto this guy, and he's just holding 2 kegs of ale under his arms. And if that doesn't look difficult, then you've never done anything like that before. Now he's got one on his back. Why have you brought your war to our land? What of your homes? Was there nothing worth fighting for there? Now that is an interesting question when you think about it. I may have overestimated my own strength. Yeah, now he's got one up on his neck. This guy's knees are about to buckle. One more. The honey brew is the lifeblood of our village. Now that is something worth fighting for. Are you gonna be okay, sir? Can you even see where you're going? Okay, one more, but that's as far as I'm going with this. All this fighting is such a waste. How do you people find the time? When do you find time to celebrate? There you go, buddy. Thank you for the help. I'll make sure this honey brew gets back to the village. Try not to blow anything else up. No promises. He's just watching my hoof prints. Hell yeah, brother. We're gonna kill the other faction.
This land is ours. It just doesn't know it yet.
I shouldn't be alive, Torrin. I should have died with the rest of my brothers.
We'll rest when the battle is done.
Ugh. Yes, no time for mourning. Let us avenge our fallen brethren and claim this land for the Horde.
This land will suit our people well.
Hi, Shokia. On your feet.
Go on without me.
Regrouping in the village. I think I could make it. Oh yeah, by the way, and I think Blade Tavo would find this amusing if he was here. To really emphasize this, how different Pandaria is from Kata, notice that the first zone has multiple named characters, multiple named recurring characters, who we'll be seeing several times throughout the course of this arc. I know that seems like a minor thing, but try to keep in mind the era in which this came out. MMOs didn't really do this in general. Are you okay, Rivet?
What's up?
Watch it, lady. I'm very fragile. Get me out of here. This girl is going to kill me. Hey, you got yourself stuck up there. I'm just trying to help. Quit messing around. Use your knife. Fine. Don't get your trousers in a bunch. Actually pulls out his knife and does the cut, by the way. I'll meet you back at the village. You need to seriously rethink your definition of help, lady. You're dangerous with that stick. And then he sets off with his rocket boots. Because of course he does. He's a goblin.
What is your hurry? May your...
Oh yeah, his name is Rivet Clutch Pop, by the way. Yes, really. My children will not know war if I have anything to say about it. Should we allow them to stay here? They have wounded to tend to. How can you remain neutral after watching them blow us out of the sky? Those are... oh. There's dialogue that's not playing. Wow, really? I don't think I've usually seen Pandaria quests bug out. I blame Bragwin. She infected my game. Ugh. Sometimes they're just born with a heart of neutrality. Well, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, I would say the Dread Waste is the only other one that really competes with it. Although, there's kind of an asterisk to that, because both Krasserang Wilds and the Valley of the Four Winds are really one zone. Like, their story arcs kind of dovetail each other, and they both have the same conclusion point. In fact, you can't do the conclusion of both zones until you've done both zones. Similarly, Kun Lai leads immediately into Townlong, and Townlong actually ends the story arc of Kun Lai. Townlong also sets up the Dread Wastes. So there's 3 overall arcs to the entire zone. The Jade Forest, however, and this is why I agree with 336, is more or less an arc completely by itself. Excuse me. Excuse me. See you around, DeCastus. So yeah, Jade Forest is effectively its own zone, but Jade Forest, Krasserang, and Valley is definitely its own arc. Kun Lai, Townlong, Dread Wastes, well, that could be argued to be part 2. After that, it gets a little bit trickier, because then we actually go back to Krasserang, and more accurately, all over the place. Then we go here.
What news, friend?
These are our only survivors? So be it. We will play the hand that fate has dealt us. Numbers be damned. This is where heroes are made.
Find the Alliance. My axe hungers.
Your fighting has brought much destruction to our tiny village. We have no interest in your war, but we will not turn your injured away.
May the mists protect you.
Yeah, Jade Forest, By the way, despite the fact... Oh yeah, by the way, I have already ground up the Raphuthor. I did that off camera months ago. I've already done the catch-up, all of the organization on the spreadsheet for the Wandering Isle. The Wandering Isle got a net plus 18 total. Now that puts it right behind Gilneas in terms of overall zone quality. But I should mention something as a bit of an asterisk there. The Wandering Isle also had a gameplay negative and a story negative. One for the lack of the fact that you can't mount on the Wandering Isle, and one for the fact that we had that one fake drama moment which actually completely kills the theme of that particular section. So, in other words, it has two bumps in the road which prevent it from being a 20 zone, which would be the best scoring zone we've ever had. I just felt like sharing that little anecdote because I thought that was interesting. Moving on.
I have had enough of your kind.
God, you know how big Pandorans are? He and my Tauren could see eye to eye. Again, Taurens are giants. In fact, not a lot of people understand how big orcs are in lore. Orcs are huge. Like, you saw that cutscene, right? The cinematic at the beginning. Orcs are like walking tree trunks. Taurens are bigger, and Pandorans can look Taurens in the eye. Which makes sense, because they're freaking bears.
What do you want, stranger?
I am glad you took responsibility for your actions. Left unchecked, negative emotions can quickly overwhelm an individual here, just as they started to overwhelm the one you called Nazgrim.
I am finished with you.
Ah, so your conflict at the ruins is beginning to pollute the local wildlife. This is troubling. I've never seen a reaction so intense. Thank you for protecting the village, but it is a tragedy that those poor animals had to die.
Pandaria is better. If it is war you mean to bring to our shores, the very land itself will respond to your passions and your violence. I do not know what the ultimate consequences will be. Nobody does.
Oh, hey, Blateville. You missed me. I mentioned you earlier.
Blood and thunder!
Rivet claims to have seen Zainjun abandon ship with the rest of the survivors. That means he's still out there somewhere. We can't leave him behind. He can be injured or worse, captured. Go find him. Bring him back.
Our enemies must fall.
You may give these soldiers quarter at your discretion, but we are not choosing sides. This conflict is little more than a race war. Their hatreds would engulf this land. We will have no part in this.
And
I must go.
Oh, sorry.
There are others who have landed on our southern shores.
Really? I look forward to seeing that in a minute. So... something about that line. I was in voice chat with Pax while we were doing this for the very first time. And something about that line, this is little more than a race war, just clicked with us in a way that I can't even put into words. It was just like, yes! Yes, that's so true! I mean, nowadays it feels like a duh, right? But at the time, you know, with so much of the HVA and how incredibly sick of it we all were, me and my friends, to clarify, that just having someone in the game call out how much of a pointless blood feud it really was just, yes! Sorry. I wanted to share that little tidbit. Let's go over to the right this time. Whoops. Put that over there.
Patience. Patience.
That's not as much as I would have hoped it'll have to do. I guess there's no sense in crying over spilled brew.
Keep the peace.
Also, for a bit of perspective, for anybody wondering, we absolutely will not be finishing this zone today. The Jade Forest is pretty chonky.
What you want?
He is grievously wounded, but senses that you're friendly. Ah, monkey things! Everywhere there be these monkey things. I'm sorry, dude.
Be seeing ya.
Ah, I could have taken out the whole lot of them, man. Shot them one by one. Didn't play dead when they get close. Fair for it every time they did. Well, almost every time. One of them finally got wise. Called me bluff. Before I knew it, they was using me eyes as marbles. Ran off with the goods and let me here to die, the savages. Help me, man. Help me die with me dignity intact.
Spirits be with ya, man.
Also, what the hell is this? You see this weird statue thing? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot he even does this. He then slowly puts on a blindfold to contain, you know, his bleeding eye sockets. And then he goes with us. He's a troll. Of course he's chill about this. It is plain to see that this statue and the surrounding ruins are of ancient origin. Clearly this land has a deep history, which means it could not have been born of the cataclysm. Yet these waters have been explored for ages now, with no record of anything but open sea. Perhaps if you were to sketch pieces of the statue, might shed light on the continent's origins. Yeah, he's a troll. He's fine. Whether a troll lives or dies is kind of up to the troll. And upon someday. Ah, no, what they did to me rifleman? Ugh. There appears to be mud in the firing mechanism. Ah, looky there. That beat me bad eye, but it's a good start. You know, troll pain tolerance is absolutely through the roof. They're trolls. Oh no. Top picks for most underestimated zones. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because most of the really, really good zones are ones that are obvious, right? Everyone knows Westfall is great. Everyone knows that, you know, Gilneas and Kazan are great. Everyone knew the Wandering Isle was going to be great. But zones? What, they killed those snuff? No, no. That poor cat. Also, Nazgrim is just over here killing Hosen. Reek it, Wolflander. Oh my god, writing. I need to give writing pluses to the Hosen, just for being Hosen. Get out of here. Notice Nazgrim is, well, he's kind of defaulting here a little bit. What's he do? He sends us off to go deal with the real problem, and he goes and starts defending his airship. Why? Well, this was his airship, and he lost it, and what else is he gonna do? What the ook and hawk? Oh, sorry. At one point in my life, I wrote down the big insult that Rico gives to Shokia, just so I could repeat it whenever I felt the need to jokingly insult someone. Emphasis on joking, because I don't want to say that seriously. Yep. Nazgrim dropped Hellscream's fist. Do a cliffside.
Greetings, man.
You got me goods, man.
Later.
Oh, they done killed Snuff. What all Snuff ever do to them?
Stay away from...
I was just about to curl up and die, man. Now this. Snuff and me go way back. Oh, the memories. No way I can face Snuff in the afterlife without avenging his death first. These hooligans be led by one named Conk. Gotta sniff him out and then snuff him out. For Snuff!
Later.
Really, Ismirstar. Interesting. Let's take some sketches here. Sketch of the head. Sketch over here. Take a sketch of the shoulder. The statue's shoulder looks quite imposing in relation to the rest of the creature. Maybe it was clearly a mighty creature. Maybe it's a good-natured sort. Or if not, maybe it's extinct. As you look over your sketch, you can't help but hope that these creatures don't really exist. Hang on, let's get out of combat. There we go. I like how Kieran immediately stealths.
Nothing shall stand in our way. May our foes flee before you.
Okay, so, Zynjin was supposed to have committed suicide here. So we're just gonna assume he did and move on.
Blood and thunder.
This is a dark day indeed, brother. These vermin will pay.
Fear nothing. The Horde shall prevail.
You know, one thing that'll be funny about going through Pandaria? I'm not gonna get, like, any transmog from this expansion. I'll laugh if I get even, like, 10 pieces across the entire expansion. Because I did the Pandaria remix, and I got everything.
Hellscream's eyes are upon you. May our foes flee before you.
I have found their hidden airship, Bavoro. The Strongarm airship. It wasn't hard to spot. It's swarming with Alliance. They think they've wiped us out, but we're Horde. We fight until we're corpses, and sometimes even afterwards. I'm sorry, that's funny coming from Nazgrim.
Our orders stand, no matter...
Scouting reports from the Strongarm airship are in, and I've outlined a few high-priority targets for you. 2 gnomish mechanics have been keeping Alliance gyrocopters in the air. Take out the mechanics, and the gyrocopters' numbers will dwindle. A dwarven death knight wanders the perimeter. He's an adventurer like yourself, loosely allied, highly dangerous. Finally, a name I recognize, Corporal Jackson Silver, hero of the Alliance, dead shot with a crossbow. Good luck.
Come what may, we fight on.
Please, browse my wares.
We originally welcomed the Alliance as friends. Several of our villagers volunteered to help them build an airstrip. Only recently, however, did it become clear they were building a war base within shouting distance of our village. What's worse, I hear that some villagers are being held against their will. Yeah. You've heard me reference this before. Both sides are literally keeping the others as slaves. Cool.
Time is money, friend.
Hey, I spotted some shoulder-mounted rocket launchers on the way over here. They might have been fireworks, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume they were shoulder-mounted rocket launchers until I'm proven wrong. Point is, in arms of a skilled monk like you, they could probably take down a chopper. You find it lying around, try pointing at one of those poorly built gyros.
Have a good one.
Is there a good side between the Alliance and the Horde? No. Jade Forest is probably the second most HVA we see in Pandaria. The only thing that's bigger is the HVA patch, which was all about the Horde vs. Alliance. It's kind of one of the conclusionary points of the entire Hellscream War. Oh, right. Pay attention, Lord. Pay attention. here to give me my break? It feels like I've been working forever. Yeah, you can go home. Get out of here. Yep. Landfall will be interesting. And as I've mentioned, I've already done my prep work on getting ready for Landfall. We might not need it. I'm going to test something when we get there. Yeah, he's just haunting me, Cloud. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They did something over in Legion, which I unfortunately don't really have the ability to do a proper tech test of until we get there. I have, Uthor.
What you doing?
You can go home to your family now, kid.
Tell me a story before you go.
Greetings.
Oh, these Alliance have us working hard. You can go home.
Farewell. Welcome. May your days bring you joy.
You're not one of the Alliance? Oh, good. Yep. I've referenced this several times. The Alliance are just straight up enslaving people. And when I say people, I mean civilians. There's no arguing this. There's no debating this. They have enslaved local villagers, including children, in order to impress them into their workforce. So they can build a war base. There's nothing else for that.
Oh, hello.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Greetings. Travel safe.
I don't think I agree with that, Uthor. But that's okay. I would say the worst sin this commits is it overcorrects a little bit.
Slow down.
Which makes sense, considering they actually had a plan this time
Someday
around.
I'm going to be a hero like you. Tell me a story.
So, I can explain that a little bit. Warcraft 3, one of the dominant points of the narrative of Warcraft 3 is they really wanted to go ahead and have... they wanted to walk away from the Horde being evil and the Alliance being good. So a huge portion of Warcraft 3 was devoted to exactly that. It's one of the reasons why Arthas is one of the main villains of Warcraft 3, a human. I know that sounds silly by today's standards, but back in the day when all they really had under their belt was Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2, plus StarCraft, it was a major unnecessary step. So, okay, cool. Then WoW came along, and as I've been showcasing periodically, WoW, for reasons I have never fully understood, decided to just kind of go back into being the Alliance being good and the Horde being evil.
Hi there.
Now, there have been a couple of exceptions to
Where
that,
are you from?
but the exceptions have definitely been the exceptions, not the rule.
Speak up.
With Pandaria, we know that they actually had some kind of plans in mind for a story beyond the next 5 minutes in front of their face. So like, okay. We're going to actually plan this out this time and actually have some nuance between the two factions, rather than just the Horde being evil and the Alliance being good. Cool. Which brings me to the concept of overcorrection.
Welcome. May
Notice
your
that this
days
is all in the
bring you
Jade
joy.
Forest. Most of the worst stuff that both factions do is right out of the gate, first thing. So it makes sense to me, and this is of course presumptive, that the Horde and the Alliance were both being made to be horrifically evil in this opening sequence, specifically to try and course correct.
Tell me of your travels.
And once again, you'll notice this kind of leads into the whole players thing, which, I mean, we know they're going to keep doing that as recently as BFA, so make of that what you will. Remember, the other team sucks. Your team doesn't, though. It's just the other team. It's one of the reasons I've tried for a while now not to get into HV8 arguments. I made the horrific mistake of allowing myself to be baited into those arguments back during the WoW lore run. That was, as I may or may not have just mentioned, a mistake. I mean, it could be Lunaruth. As I've mentioned before, the Horde underwent a fairly substantial purge, partially in Cataclysm, but most especially in Pandaria, where we, like it or not, kill off most of the more evil members of the Horde. Now, for whatever it's worth, everything I just said is, in my opinion, not a negative. I apologize, but you'd have to work pretty hard in order to convince me of that. Yes, Pandaria is when they finally decided to make Varian someone other than a stupid warmonger. I'm not sure why, but that is definitely the direction they were going. One thing I find amusing about BFA is, as Ganas just points out, it was really, really obvious that Sylvanas was just a straight-up villain in BFA. The reason I find that funny is because that's been true, arguably since Warcraft 3, but if we want to ignore semantics, it's definitely been true since Cataclysm. As I just pointed out, I'd say about a week and a half ago at this point, she was not a good guy in Cataclysm at all. There were decent Forsaken. We actually saw a decent number of Forsaken who were good people. But Sylvanas was not one of them. So, I suppose I should explain why none of this is a negative for me. It's because it makes perfect sense to me. No, not because the Alliance is evil, but because... Well, let's look at the situation logically for a second. A bunch of Alliance are here. They're actually sent north. We don't find this out, actually, until we do the Alliance quests, but this detachment up here under Captain whatever stupid name is, they were sent north from the initial expedition. They find this spot. They find the fortress, and they start encamping here. We'll read his journal later, but he's been here for a minute. And he's what we call a low wisdom character. So he starts almost immediately succumbing to the essence and nature of the Shah. Right out of the gate. He and most of his local alliance members who are on his side get more and more and more desperate. In fact, what if the word I would use to describe what they feel is probably doubt. As they get worse and worse, they lead to more and more desperate actions to try and hold on to their territory over here. And again, we'll see some of the specifics as we go through the journal. As he is spiraling out of control, we show up, confirming all of his worst fears. And that leads to this whole situation here. So, it doesn't really bother me that one Alliance detachment and one Alliance leader decided to go ahead and go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and do things like enslave local civilians and children. And again, it is worth noting, the Horde do the same damn thing on the other side. We'll see that when we get there. Hopefully today. We'll see.
Yo!
I hope those ding-dongs enjoyed the potty you threw them.
Be good.
Browse. Take your time.
Although I can't understand why you chose to bring your war to our land, I can clearly see which side is more virtuous.
Next one is on me.
Now, that sounds a little bit eyebrow-rolling, but remember, we just saved a bunch of his villagers from literal enslavement. Of course he's going to say that.
For the Horde, Hellscream's eyes are upon you.
The best thing about killing Alliance in Pandaria? It'll be months before they get any reinforcements. This land will belong to the Horde. Yeah, have you looked at your forces, Nazgrim?
Fear nothing. The Horde shall prevail.
In fact, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Have you noticed? I actually really like this. There's Rivet, okay, Nazgrim, Kirin, Shokia, Gorok, and us. That's 6 people. This isn't even enough people to qualify as a single squad. This is it for Hellscream presence on these shores. But that's part of the benefit. That's part of the way this works. The Alliance had plenty of people here, and they all just got wiped out by us. We'll see the other side of that in a bit.
The tip of the Horde spear. No great...
Doran, that's his name, Captain Doran. You didn't see Captain Doran while you were out there, did you? That sniveling Alliance leader must be hiding somewhere. If it wasn't in the airbase, he can't be far. Search the perimeter. Try searching the cave. I want the Alliance gone.
Come what your leader is still in hiding. Find him!
I think that's the final reason it doesn't bother me too much that they're overcorrecting with this a little bit. The Alliance are too much the good guys, to be really, really blunt about that. They really shouldn't be. They haven't been the good guys in lore since Warcraft 2. You know? In my honest opinion, the Alliance should have never been the good guys. Well, let me walk that sentence back. Shouldn't have been the good guys since Warcraft 2. And the fact that they keep trying to dip back into Alliance equals good is, in my opinion, bad writing. Just like I think them dipping into the Horde being bad is bad writing. Like, that's old. That's decades old at this point. That's true, they are blue. I take everything back.
Don't you beasts know when to give up? Filthy animals! No! I've let my king down.
Your Horde has no power here. You finished him. Well done. What is this shadow? What is the Alliance playing at?
Your foe was overwhelmed by a dark energy we call the Shah. It thrives on negative emotions, such as doubt. It has been many years since I have seen it manifest so dramatically.
You again? Do you see it now? Alliance arrogance! Help us rout them from your land, and your kind can stand tall and proud with the Horde!
My people have stood tall without you for thousands of years.
Oh, are you afraid to fight?
We are not afraid to fight. Our warriors, while few in number, are extremely skilled. But we will not participate in this race war, bloodbath of yours. Your conflict will have immense consequences here. Do not bring your war to these shores.
Of Yataranzu.
This is a hostile land, and we have no reinforcements. We're going to have to improvise, champion.
God damn it.
But our orders stand. Hellscream will have his foothold here. We will not allow the Alliance to lay claim to this new world.
So, first and foremost, thank you very, very much, Alchemist. Unfortunately, Dusk isn't on the list, so I'm not sure what that is or where to put that. Now, if you want to add it to the list, you can, but that would take up the whole donation. That's up to you. Second of all, thank you very, very much, Papaneeks, for the 2 subs. If you give me a moment, I will jot those down in this musicless area. For Contradiction, Spider-Man 2, and Overlord 1. You got it. So, what is Dusk? Because I've never heard of that game. Let's look this up. Hit the stream breaks. Sorry, I don't know what a boomer shooter is. Do you have a proper genre to call that by? This looks really weird. But it does look like a run and gun. I know, I actively despise that genre name, so I kind of refuse to acknowledge that it exists. It's not my least favorite genre name. That would be Immersive Sims, which is the dumbest goddamn genre name of the known history of the universe. I spit upon them, the TUI. Seriously, I hate the term. Anyways. Dusk, and hang on, let me do another check here really quick. Immersive Sims. Sorry. I had too much pretension stuck in my throat. Is this it? This looks like it. Okay. Which one? 5. Well, you know, that's a dumb question. I'll answer both. Immersive Sims are what we call stealth em ups, or stealth games, or just, you know, whatever you want to call that. Dishonored stuff, for example. Dishonored, Thief, Deus Ex, stealth games. A boomer shooter is a run and gun, or sometimes a 90s FPS, or a Doom clone, if you prefer. Excuse me. Landfall. We engaged a Horde fleet many times our number in a series of sporadic encounters throughout the night. Our losses were high, but we gave more than we got. We took advantage of a dense fog that cloaked our movements. No doubt they thought our numbers were much greater, hence they fled southeast by morning light. We were astounded to discover a great cliff wall as the fog burned away. Land. It's not on any of the charts. I've messaged the Sky Seeker to arrange for air support. I think so, yeah, Riker's Beard. Which also refers to every game I just mentioned. The Sky Seeker has arrived and dispatched its gyrocopters. This is no mere uncharted island. We've discovered an entire continent. I'll begin shuttling men and material up the cliff walls immediately. From the higher ground, we'll have a commanding view of the nearby seas. Communication among fleet is sporadic and confused. The Horde seems to be everywhere at once. We have lost contact with Admiral Taylor's ship, which likely engaged the Horde fleet we thumped a few days ago. Light help them. They were out for blood. With no news from Stormwind, I'm going to take the initiative and secure this land. The Sky Seeker has left behind... You'll notice I don't even use that genre, Huthor. The Sky Seeker has left behind a full complement of gyrocopters to help us construct a base. My men have claimed a series of abandoned ruins as a stronghold. The ruins and surrounding jungle are too dangerous for air traffic. We've been using some clearings to the south as a temporary airbase. This morning we made our first contact with the natives. They're Pandaren. I didn't think they were real. Could this be some kind of mythical Pandaren homeland? Day 7. The Pandaren are full of questions, but no help at all. I admit I'm feeling immensely uneasy. I can't put my finger on why. It's like all my doubts are magnified here. The Horde will come back, I'm sure of it. How many will come? Will they come by sea or air? I must be ready. The men are working double time, with half rations. The Pandarans have offered food in trade, but are not interested in our promissory notes and laugh at the quality of our steel. For some reason, that makes me furious. Do they know they're about to be in the middle of a battlefield? Day 9. The Sky Seeker reported it's picked up Horde prisoners from an engagement this sea at morning, and then suddenly fell silent. I fear the worst. Let's go with... Do I not have just, like, the Jade Forest here? That'll do. I fear a lot of things. We're alone here. Reinforcements from Stormwind are weeks away. Taylor's flagship is missing and the Sky Seeker is silent. Are we losing the war at sea? I can't think straight. I swear my skin is losing color. What is wrong with me? Day 12. Every day I scan the horizon for Horde airships. We are not ready. Our airbase is in shambles with a half-complete tower. Some Pandaren offered to help and I drafted them. Years ago I hunted down Colonel Curzon when madness overtook him in Stranglethorn. Fun fact, this actually was one of the NPCs from Vanilla. When madness overtook him in Stranglethorn, I never understood his spiral into darkness till now. I am alone. At night I lie in the oppressive heat and swear the shadows are whispering to me my own demise. I gotta get that airbase finished. I'll clap the Pandaren and manacles, I have to. The Horde, the Horde. Day 14. Woke up to news of a signal flare from off the coast. There's a shadow moving through the fog. A ghost airship? A Horde airship? I've dispatched a messenger to scramble the gyrocopters. They may not get here in time. Ordering everyone to the guns, this is it. I feel overpowered with anger and dread. I'm not myself. Maybe in victory I'll find solace. If it is a single Horde airship, they stand no chance. We will decimate them. And yet, 2 weeks. He had been here for 2 weeks. Plenty of time to descend into total insanity. The Alliance have been routed. You, Nazgrim, Kirin, Gorak, Shokia, and Rivet need a base of operations. This flag will have to be changed. You have a comfortable base of operations, no Alliance around for miles, and a few Horde veterans at your side. Looks like it's time to start painting the continent red.
Nothing shall stand in our way.
We may have won the battle against the Alliance, but we won't get any further with these jabbering monkeys at our perimeter. The Hosen are our next target. We must kill them horribly.
May our foes flee before you.
Have you brought fresh corpses?
These creatures are everywhere and very hostile. We'll need to deal with them before any more Alliance show up. This one's taken quite a beating, but I've still made some interesting determinations about its anatomy. With proper reagents, I'll be able to fashion a poison that should be quite effective against this species. In fact, I'll just need to modify a bit of the poison I have with me. You'll find me some vicious chlorophyll down by the water. Any semi-sentient flora will do.
Bring me back something tasty.
Listen, pal. I sent out a couple of supply drones from the gunship, and they've all been lost or crashed. Almost all, that is. One of them buzzed through the camp here and crashed out by the waterfalls. How about you see what we can do about bringing the contents of the crate back, huh? We're all out of drones, but my rocket boots might come in handy. Or footy, as the case may be.
Keep it real.
Ah! Listen, I wouldn't mind a Hosen quarter pounder. Just make sure it's well cooked, yeah? Yes, Hosen are food, not friends. Alright. Let's see what these boots can do. Nothing, apparently. Alright, let's get a little closer to the shoreline. Still nothing? Oh, that's strange. Oh, yeah, there we go. This crate should be full of supplies. Oh, it's been thoroughly pillaged, but a quick scan of the area shows the evidence left behind by the thieves. Icy little thorns, just like the ones in the water sprites. Well, since this is a life or death situation, those supplies need to be retrieved. How do I get back? Ah, never mind. There's someone in the distance yelling that they need to grook 'em in the nuke and then gork 'em clean. He also says to grook 'em till they ook their dukers. I'm not sure of the specifics of what that means, and I'm not sure I want to. Yeah, it's being said by someone named Duke Ookum. I don't know what's going on with that. God damn it, Uthor. You are fired, sir. You know what that means. As punishment for being fired, it's now your job to fix Vashir. God damn it. What? What? No, wait, Hell, I don't think I've ever played any of the Duke Nukem games other than the original. No. The original.
Hey, how you doing? Have a good one.
Hey, look at that. These supplies should keep us kicking for a few more days. And my boots! You managed not to blow them up. Way to go.
Keep it real.
That's okay.
You look delicious.
I hope you're successful. Our survival may depend on it.
Quick and clean, friend. Quick and clean.
Since you've been gone, more and more of these creatures are approaching our camp. They appear to be amassing for a major assault. We're going to have to take some drastic measures if we hope to see tomorrow. Here, do a vehicle section.
May your footsteps be silent,
I can do that.
friend.
You think what I'm thinking? Hell yeah! Dangle me from the bottom. You comfy down there? No! Pretty sure I tied the knots right. Let me know if you fall off. Don't worry. You'll be hearing about it for a long time if I fall. We literally are as big as this stupid thing. Yeah, the Hosen just see this. And like, what the hell is that? What the ook and hawk is that?
I heard you coming a mile away.
Excellent. What a creative solution. That should hold them off for a while.
They never see me coming.
The tip of the Horde spear. No greater honor.
Curse these furry pests. Kill one and two more rise in its place. Nothing's changed. Orders are orders, no matter how few of us stand, regardless of the odds. I have plans to make and problems to solve. Get out there and don't return until you have the lay of the land. And silence that yammering fool while you're at it.
Our orders stand, no matter the cost.
So this is a tutorial quest, believe it or not. There's a brand new concept they came up with for Pandaria. Treasure. Now, in Pandaria, they're rare, and they don't respawn all that often. What that means, in practical application, is that while these first few treasures are one pretty much everyone get because there's a quest pointing them to them, most of the other treasures are things most people don't have because they require farming or seeking it out yourself. They would experiment with this concept in future expansions. And Duke Ukum is dead. So now we've killed Duke Ukum, and we have a debuff called Hosen Slayer. And now there's a Pandaren.
Hello, stranger. You are making quite an impression with the local Hosen. I dare say they are starting to fear you. You must be one of those folk from that skyship that crashed. I have many questions for you, but this is a terrible place to chat. Please, find me in the Cave of Words, just up the hill here, when you have time to speak.
So the debuff makes it so it kind of forces them to all be pseudo-friendly to you, so they won't attack you on sight anymore, if you're wondering.
Ah, a visitor. This is an incredible time for Pandaria. The mists have parted, and we rejoin the world. You come in peace, I hope.
I come with a lust for power.
Hello. Tread lightly.
Rush, rush, rush. Are your people always in such a hurry? Sit, have some tea with me. We will discuss your plight. His features settle into a patient smile.
Every good story needs a hero. Thanks to your actions, the Hosen fear your people. Indulge me a moment. Ah, here we are. Over 14,000 years ago, this entire land was ruled by a terrible race of warlords called the Mogul. The Mogul ruled through fear, and fear kept them in power until the first Pandaren monks taught my people courage. Then, the Mogul were overthrown. You see, those who lead through fear only stay in power, while those they govern lack courage. The Hosen are many things, but they are not cowards. Not for long. If you don't wish to fight them, you must inspire them.
I hope you all are paying attention, because this is all going to be on the test.
Greetings.
I will help you, but first I'd like to learn a little more about this horde of yours.
Farewell.
Oh, where are my manners gone? Technically, I suppose I am the host here. Allow me to tell you a little bit about myself and my people before asking questions of you.
Jade Serpent guide you. Follow me, traveler. Let us get to know one another better. I am known as a lore walker, a kind of historian for my people. As such, knowledge is my armor, and I carry a quill in place of a sword. Much of Pandaria's past is shrouded in mystery, even to us. A lore walker's sworn duty is to rediscover our history, to rend that shroud piece by piece. This demands a tireless search for ancient clues and the wisdom to interpret them. Ah, here we are. Be careful. I have had trouble in this area before.
I suppose the best way to explain what a lore walker is to show you.
Eyes open.
This is a very ancient place. Only recently have I pieced together a method of translating the forgotten language in these stones. Oh, the thrill of discovery. This never gets old, I assure you. Here, you are the guest. You do the honors. I insist. Use this key to unlock the secrets the stone contains.
Farewell. This stone tells of a great Hosen warlord who lived here 2,500 years ago. What are your leaders like? Poets? Warriors? I should like to meet them someday. Prepare yourself. Sorok raiders approach.
What's a Sorok?
The Sorok have plagued this land since the time of the Mogul. They are impossible to negotiate with. But we never stop trying. We fight them only as a last resort. Thank you for your help. These notes are important to my studies. Your people value knowledge too, yes? I assume so, only because you arrived on a great airship. How does today find you?
That's enough translating for one day, I think. This experience has been an enlightening one, I hope.
Tread lightly.
Just a moment now. Allow me to gather my things. We wouldn't want to lose these notes now, would we? Especially after you risked life and limb for them. Ah, there, all set. Let us be off, shall we? I must say, I must feel much safer traveling with you after seeing how you handled that Sauroch.
Eyes open. Always be learning. I have everything I need. Quickly, let's move on before they return. Enough about Pandaren history. Let's talk about your people, traveler. I've learned a great deal already just by watching you in action. You fight with the fervor of youth, but the experience of an old veteran. Oh, you've seen a lifetime of warfare, haven't you? Ah, this is a special place. My great-grandparents called this part of the forest their home. Come, this will take only a moment. We Pandaren do not worship our ancestors, but we revere their memory and the wisdom that they have passed on to us. It was my great-grandfather who first told me the tale of the Mogu that I recently shared with you. Pandaria welcomes you.
I am most grateful for the knowledge my forebears have passed on to me. I stand on their shoulders.
Every good story needs...
So there you have it. As much as it would make for a proper introduction. What of you, then? Are your people so much different than mine? Surely there must be some things we share in common. Let us see.
Jade, I would very much like to hear about your ancestors, stranger. Light the incense, and let us reflect on where you came from, eh? Look at that. Your people revere their ancestors as well. And you cherish the land. We have much in common. Oh, but I see that your ancestors were nomads, whereas we Pandaren prefer the comforts of hearth and home. You will find few travelers among us.
So, essentially every race has something unique here. The only one I remember distinctly is Blood Elf, because Blood Elf shows Night Elves behind them, showing the descent from night to high to blood. I don't know what you get for allied races. I don't think I've ever done any of those. I should mention, though, in case you missed that I am not playing a Tauren right now. I mentioned that because this isn't the Tauren one. This is the High Mountain one. Oh, I did, Lord Hermon, immediately.
Hello. Eyes open.
Now back to your dilemma. I believe you can help your people build relations with our Hosen, as my people have. The trail behind me will lead you to a body of water the Hosen use to gather fish that feeds them. Around this time every year, fearsome beasts call those waters home, and many hungry Hosen are lost to them. If you were to rescue some of the victims and gather some of the fish, perhaps you will be regarded more favorably.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, the only thing that gives away that I'm a High Mountain is the antlers. High Mountain are one of the cheap allied races, so the only difference really is the antlers. I don't know what Void Elves get, honestly. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let's look something up really quick. Alright, so Blood Elves, I was right. There's Blood Elves, and then High Elves, and then Night Elves. And he says, "Noble is your lineage, your people possess great power, and all the terrible burdens that come with it. Equally great has been your suffering. Now I see why you call yourselves Blood Elves." If you're a goblin, there's only a couple of goblins there. Most of them are either dead or on fire. And he says, "Well, that's interesting. It appears most of your ancestors died in a fire. Oh my. Your people put themselves at great personal risk in the name of progress. I wish more Pandaren had your initiative." If you pick Orc or Maghar, it just shows a bunch of orcs. Nothing surprised there. "Outstanding. A lineage of great warriors from a different world, no less. It is a rare for a Pandaren to leave his or her homeland. You are rightly proud of who you are." If you pick a Pandaren, there's actually quite a few Shadowpan in the background. "Ah, but you're no stranger to your past. You're from the Wandering Isle. I admit, I thought your homeland was just a legend. Pandaren from the Isle are more adventurous than those on the mainland. It's in your blood." If you pick Tauren, looks like it's the same thing we just saw. So, we did just get the Tauren one. Troll or Zandalari get the same thing, which, yeah. "Oh, as I expected, your ancestry dates back to the dawn of the world. Great were the ancient empires of the trolls. I see a spark in your eyes, a powerful will. You wish to be great again, yes?" If you pick Undead, Undead is fascinating, and probably my personal favorite. Because for Undead, you see Undead, and then humans, and then Vrykul. How fascinating. I thought you looked sickly, but now I see the truth. Your people suffer under the weight of a terrible darkness. What strength you must have simply to press onwards. Now, you gotta give me a moment to find the Alliance version of this quest. Oh, there is no Alliance version, is there? Or is there? God, I don't even remember. There's gotta be. Right? I don't actually remember. Because I know he has different quests for the Alliance. But yeah, I guess he doesn't have this. Yeah, okay, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, no kidding, Earth. Listen, I'm not a Hosengruker. Okay, maybe I am. Listen, Riker's beard is secretly just Django. He hates knife ears. I wouldn't make so many Night Elf characters if they didn't just have incredible animations, okay? I don't know what you want to say. Or what you want me to say. You can say whatever you want to. All I'm saying is, playable Nerubians, and Naga, and Ogres. That's my wish list right there. None of them will ever happen. But that's my wish list. Oh yeah, and Sethrak. Sorry, I always forget about Sethrak. No! Uthor being the monkey's paw as usual over there. Part of the reason that we're currently playing my High Mountain Tauren is I made him back when High Mountain were first added to the game, which I believe was BFA. It was like the first bundle of allied races. And I haven't touched him since then. Because why would I? He's just a Tauren. So, this is my excuse to finally level my High Mountain character. Such as it is. We're actually not doing most of Pandaria in my Horde. That was Acclamation. I knew it was a while ago, but that just gets across the point more, doesn't it? It has been since Legion, since the last patch in Legion, since I've touched the character we're on right now. I know they'll never make other new races that are actually interesting or fun or cool or neat. Instead, we'll get our third variant of dwarves. Sorry, fourth variant of dwarves, excuse me. We need more elves and dwarves. That's what we really need. Wicket got slickies? For me? Every bit as slick as speckled. Wicket save Hosen. And bring slickies. Maybe Wicket not so bad. Tuki never liked Duke Ukum anyway. Maybe Wicket not so bad after all. Other baldskins not nice to Hosen. Hosen take this from bad Wickets. All Wicket loot goes to Kaka. Chief's orders. Here, Wicket, you take it. Kaka meet you a no Hosen friend. His camp south at Brooken Hill. I like Earthen too, but, like, come on. They're dwarves. They're interesting because of their culture and their lore and their story. They're not interesting as a playable race. Like, don't mistake me, the Earthen are really cool in War Within. They really took them in some great directions. But I haven't even unlocked the playable race yet, because I'm just like, I'm gonna guess. One second, please. A dwarf and an elf have a child. It's a troll! I will actually agree with that, Riker's Beard. Hell, even EverQuest 2 kind of did that. Then there's Asheron's Call, which for the most part you just played as people with slightly different skin color. Drakthir are cool. I'll actually give them credit on Drakthir. You really Hosen friend? Let's see, huh? Hosen at Crooken Hill, all out of slicky bait. Tiger flies legs stay twitchy in water. Make best bait. That's what I was going to write down. Bobo's sick from stings. Wicked get bake. Take to Crooken. How did you tame a tiger? You know, I don't even care. Kershan is one big dukkha. Grouped all my sons. Ick, nab, eat, bitty, and others I can't remember. Wicket wanna help Hosen? Go Grook Kershan. Dukker's over there. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Drakthir are a tech test. A lot of people were happy with Drakthir, so they're more likely to introduce races that don't have full armor in the future. And that opens up a lot of possibilities. Bavurl Goodwick, they say. Bavurl Hope Help Hosen, they say. No more Gruken Bavurl, they say. That okay. Look out there. Wicked wickets falling like rain, ripe for Gruken. Go join the fun, but remember Chief Kaka, get all the shinies. That's Hosen rule number 2. He scratches his head. Oh, all Hosen rules are number 2. We'll see what they do second. Something like ogres is probably the safest bet they could do. People have been clamoring for ogres for an extremely long time, and they're still mostly humanoids. So, they also have a reasonably advanced mesh already designed for them, and several animations. Hosen rule number 1. Look at Hosen rule number 2. Hang on, I have to go kill this Alliance Captain, Jack Arrow. Give me a minute. I mean, why would you ever watch me, Mr. Red? That's ridiculous. I did consign you to oblivion like 6 separate times. He doesn't even have a hat! Pick up that talent? No, I did not. Ooh, okay. A zone that might score better than the Jade Forest? Oh, jeez. The one that comes to my mind immediately is actually Arjuna, but I'm not 100% on that one. This really hurts. Ugh, okay. Gore from the Captain Jack's head drips as you mysteriously seep into the ground. And mysteriously seeps into the ground. Holy crap. Strange, but there's no time to investigate. Yeah, don't worry about the fact that the ground is literally consuming the blood as we kill people on it. It's fine. Oh yeah, Frostfire. Might actually be the other big one. Forgot about that. By order of King Rin, this land is to be scoured in all haste for the White Pawn. No expenses to be spared in this effort, including, if necessary, the blood of any subjects who find themselves serving in this foreign land. The families of such heroes lost in the noble endeavor will be well cared for, and the one who secures the asset may name his reward. What the hell's the White Pawn? Whatever. Yeah, Frostfire is really, really, really good. It's the other contestant, as mentioned. Past that? I don't know. I mean, there is one zone I kind of hope scores better. And that would be the 4th zone in War Within. Ah, the dreaded Kershawn is dead. You avenged Ick Ick and Nab Nab and Eat Eat and Biddy Biddy and the others that he could remember. I personally prefer the 4th zone over the third zone, yes. Not that the 3rd zone's bad. Don't be ridiculous. All of the War Within zones are good. But the 4th zone, yeah, no, it was above and beyond for me. Also, I can't think of a negative for the 4th zone. And I can think of one negative for the 3rd zone. Only one. Zone 34. We don't go to Zone 34. Ever. Also, yes, someone pointed this out earlier. I find it amusing, by complete coincidence, that we are doing the Jade Forest on VOD 85. Oh, also, just to point it out, this quest I'm doing right here is unique. It's one of the only quests in Jade Forest that does not share. Level 85 was the level cap for Cataclysm. In other words, it's the level you were when you went to the Jade Forest. Mean wickets fighting with nice wickets. Hosen fight mean wickets too. Welcome, Wicket. Me Kaka, chief of Gruken Hill Hosen. Duken Oakum wanted to be chief, but good Wicket Grukum good. Big gift to Kaka. Hosen has gift for good Wicket too. Gift come from Great Crash. Hosen keep it safe from Wicket. Ooh, slicky food. Ooh, Wicket to Ook Duke. What you got, Wicket? Oh, Wicket Grew can make Hosen rich with shinies. Bavura making a good second impression, and for Hosen, number 2 most important. Why did you give me 3 of those? Oh, I don't even care. Voldoon or Drustvar would probably be the best zone in BFA overall. Most impressive hub city? From a story perspective? I mean, Suramar is technically the winner, but that's not really a hub city, so let's skip over that. Honestly, I'm going to lean towards Valdrakken on that one. But I have to admit, that's an extremely close race between Valdrakken, Drazarlor, and Borealis. All 3 of them are really good zones visually. Gameplay-wise, of those 3, I would probably give that to Valdrakken. Drazarlor is a little irritating to navigate, and Borealis is confusing until you get the layout in your head.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Alliance.
Impressive work, Bavuro. It had not occurred to me we might somehow befriend these creatures. With their acceptance, we can now turn attention to more important matters, like killing Alliance scum.
Fear nothing. The Horde shall prevail.
I recognize all you've managed to do here, Monk. My report to the War Chief will include an account of your deeds, but there's no time to rest. This land must be charted and prepared for Horde settlement. I've already selected an away team to do just that. Find them before they grow comfortable. Inform them of their mission. Try to convince your new friends to send one of their own to serve as a guide. Maybe someone who will end up dating the undead. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
May our foes flee before you.
I like Dornegal, don't mistake me. But it's a testament to how good WoW towns tend to be that Dornegal is merely good. Dornegal would absolutely destroy most town cities in other games.
Alliance blood must spill.
A shame, I could use a bit of rest. Oh, matter. Tell Nazgrim I will accompany his party.
I hunger.
For what? Do I want to know? No, you want to know the really good-looking city in War Within. It's the one in the 4th zone. You wait patiently for Chief Kaka to think, and then wait some more for him to speak. Kaka have many nephews. They all have earned their name. Groken home to one who has not yet earned his name. Rico a little too frisky, even for Holson. Maybe a long walk do him some good. I mean, Suramar is cheating. It's the best city in the game, bar none. But it's also cheating because it's not actually a city. Not what we mean when we say city. It's a city zone. It's not actually a capital city.
We few out here against the odds. Thrilling.
Sure thing, Shakia.
Blood and thunder.
Good work, Bavuro. The away team you assembled has departed. I hope Gorok has the sense to change out of that ragged red shirt. I admire his patriotism, but he's had it on since we left Orgrimmar.
Come what may, we fight on.
Time is money, friend.
Oh, by the way, did you notice that as of Pandaria, they're starting to label MSQ quests? It's that little shield icon there. I should have pointed that out earlier.
Be good.
Oh, these guys like fish, huh? How about we finish what you started, make them love us? I got some of that explosive powder from the wreck. Just need something to extract the fish. Guts is sure to do the trick, never fails. I saw some birds flying around south of town. Well, what are you waiting for?
Have a good one.
I forget what expansion added the quest indicators, but I should mention they are still developing them. Because the quest indicators in War Within were updated again. But yes, Pandaria has been updated with them, most likely because of the remix. I'm pretty sure they're in every expansion from here onwards, but don't quote me on that. We'll see when we get to Warlords. If ever there was an abandoned expansion, it's Warlords. So, you want to be Hosen, now, Wicked? Hosen defend their land from enemies, like Jinyu. Kaka fought many Jinyu fights and won them all. Hosen only give good name to good Grookers, so Grook Jinyu. Maybe they call you Bavuro Bavuro. Jinyu creeping down by the river. Ukumida Duka. Mr. Red, I'm going to require you to ook them in the Duker. I honestly haven't played Warlords in a while, so I'm not sure. If they do have it, it won't surprise me. And since we've been doing Kata, we can say definitively that the farthest back they've gone is Pandaria. Which doesn't surprise me. Kata's quests are already problematic enough. They probably have a hard time even figuring out which ones are MSQ. Oops. It's simple. This one quest that leads to a chain that doesn't exist, that's MSQ. No, I'm not letting that go. I cannot believe they ripped out the entire Alliance chain leading to the frickin' Twilight Highlands. I'm actually aware of that, Brigwin. Because when I was looking it up, I noticed that every allied race that goes through there, that is not High Mountain, Sandalari, or Maghar, gets that exact same response. The line you just read. Well, as Huthor pointed out, they seem to have this thing where they want Stormwind to always be current. No layering in it. Which is understandable, except they then don't do that with Orgrimmar. For some reason. It was even confusing. We literally talked to Eitrig to get a quest from Saurfang on behalf of Garrosh. When did Tor come out? That's a good question. However, I know the first MMO to have a true MSQ. In fact, before we called it MSQ, we called those book quests. Because that's what they called them over in Lotro. As with so many other MMO concepts, they invented it in Lotro. Lotra's pretty old at this point. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they literally have problems layering Stormwind. Or maybe they saw the bugs from layering and decided not to screw with Stormwind. And you might think, well, hang on, why would they show favoritism to Stormwind? Remember, for all of WoW's history, up to and including now, the single most played race in the entire game is human. That has never not been true. So, statistically speaking, you will always have more players going through human-centric stuff, like Stormwind. Admittedly, I haven't checked the stats since, like, last year or something like that. If Blood Elves finally outpace humans, that's hilarious. I can't say anything. I have exactly 1 human. And like 5 Blood Elves. It also varies depending on which metrics you're using. For example, some sites only count anything above, say, level 10. In order to try and weed out bots, you know? FF14, for example, has some variable equations for that. For example, in FF14, the most played race by a huge margin is Hure, aka human. However, if you reduce the amount, if you get rid of everybody who's below level, I think it's 5 or 15 or something like that. In other words, if you get rid of the bots, then all of a sudden, that number shrinks substantially. And then there's the max level metric, which is how many people have actually leveled a race all the way to max. Speaking personally, I've always said that max level is actually the way to gauge true population. If I make, oh, I don't know, a High Mountain Tauren like 6 years ago and never touch it again, that shouldn't really count as a High Mountain Tauren character, you know what I mean? But if I bother to push a character to max level, yeah, that probably counts as a real character. Okay, here we go. So, to use the metric I just shared, if we're looking at every class, at every character in the game, the most played race-gender combo by a gargantuan margin in FF14 is male Hure. In other words, the default thing, the thing that shows up when you make the game. Now, hang on. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll see max level, right? People who have actually managed to get to end game level. That changes the numbers substantially. At that point, the most played, once again by a huge margin, is female Mikote. Like, by double. After that, female Aura. And then everything else is actually pretty even. Hure, Lalafell, and Viera are all about even with male Aura and male Mikote. The least played in the game, by quite a margin, tied for least played, excuse me, I forgot Rogadin over there, are the Rogadin and the Elizon. Nobody plays either of those races. Hang on. Here's a funny one from FF14. What do you think the most played class is just in endgame classes? Oh, I'm already done. Whoops. Pay attention more. The answer is, I don't know, because they're all so close as to be within, like, 10,000 of each other. It is so even of a spread, it's hysterical. Now, hang on. How about all characters? Yeah, go ahead, Record's Rude. In other words, not max level. In that case, it's Gladiator and Archer, followed closely by Marauder, Conjurer, Thaumaturge, and Arcanist. Everything else falls pretty far behind. We're actually one of the more popular realms now. That's interesting. Yeah, pretty much being Preox. Okay, 1.5 million players have completed the Hildebrand quest chain in ARR. 1.1 million have completed it in Heavensward. 400,000 have completed it in Endwalker. That's actually funny. Oh wow, Human was overtaken. Holy crap. By a solid 4%. Jesus.
Yo! Be good!
You didn't touch that stuff with your hands, did you?
Keep it real.
There, I plastered your bird guts over the explosives. I call them guts bombs. Patent pending. Since you made your friends with these fellas, how about you do the honors?
Have a good one.
Sure.
What's up? Keep it real.
There we go. You think Hosen crazy wicked? Wait till you see Hosen with those slickies. Not enough slickies for Hosen and wickets. Snappers. Hosen hate them ookin snappers. Wickets can eat the snappers. Okay. I love how Pandaren are so small on the list as to be listed. Oh, it's Pandaren neutral. Okay, never mind, never mind. Okay, we're cool, we're cool. Ignore me. There we go. Pandarans are still way down there, though. Holy crap. Well, for example, Mr. Red, Grandpa Red, was neutral. Until I, erased him from existence. Mechanome is hilarious. I am definitely part of this statistic, though, given my Blood Elves. I gotta be honest, though, I agree that Blood Elf and Night Elf being that high has to have at least something to do with Demon Hunters. You can't tell me that's not related. What I find funny is humans, it's Blood Elf, Night Elf, humans, and all three of those are pretty much at the top. Then you jump down hard by another 4% to Orc. Way down to Orc. And then, Tauren, Dwarf, Troll, Void Elf. Void Elf? Really? Undead, Draenei, Zandalari, Drakthir? Gnome, Volpera, Maghar, Goblin, Nightborn, High Mountain. Why are High Mountain that high up? They're just Taurens again. Lightforge, Pandaren, Kultiran, and then way at the bottom, Earthen, Mechanomes, and the other Earthen. Yeah, why is Void Elf that high up? That's weird. Yeah, this has got to be some kind of PvP thing. Sounds like a class is Hunter. Just barely above Druid. Just barely. And then Paladin's right behind him, too. Hunter, Druid, Paladin. That's funny. Evoker being at the bottom makes perfect sense. I am a little surprised that Rogue and Monk are both that far down there, though. And Death Knight. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong numbers. That's all levels. Let's look at max levels. Paladin's in the lead in that case, then Druid, then Hunter. Still Rogue and Monk at the bottom, though. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong figures there. Alright, without looking, guess what the top spec is. Since remember, specs are the real classes. So what do you think is at the top? It's not by much of a margin. It's Retribution. Retribution is right ahead of Beast. It's Retribution, Beast, then Fury, actually. Then Frost. Then Havoc. At the bottom... At the bottom is Subtlety. That's below the Evoker specs, by the way. Hang on. Balance is 2.1%. That's like 6th or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, sixth highest. I just find that funny because Subtlety is my personal favorite rogue spec right now, so, you know. Shrug. Fire is way down there, so is Brewmaster. And Outlaw, of course. And Affliction. Arms, I could believe. Survival, though? Really? Really? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Wicked crew got them who can stop us. Ooh, now everyone got grub. Great holes in wisdom in Eki. Maybe Eki become chieftain someday.
Time is money, friend.
I've yet to face a crisis that couldn't be fixed with dynamite.
Be good.
We just revolutionized how these cretins Hosen feed themselves. They'll never be the same.
Have a good one.
Ah, boys, get some fresh slickies right off the grill. Of course he brought his grill. Why wouldn't he? Oh, if we switch to all classes instead of max classes, the highest DPS spec is Beastmaster. I don't know why I said DPS spec. The highest spec is Beastmaster. And the lowest is Subtlety. Hey, who's this weirdo? You see this kid? Whatever. I wouldn't worry about it. Oops. Throw the pet on the ground, as is tradition.
Wicked, watch out for Jinyu! Jinyu hit back!
So, we've met Shokia, Kieran, Gorak, Nazgrim, and Ribbit. Time to meet our last main character for the Horde for the Jade Forest. Rico. I bet I know your first question. What the ook happened to Sergeant Gorak? Don't worry. He's totally alive, not dead or anything. He shuffles uncomfortably. Well, we think he's alive, but he also might be very, very dead. He looks into your eyes for approval. Fine. Let me tell you what happened.
We was traveling east, looking for these Horkin human guys. Be on the lookout for Alliance. Things was going good, so we decided to split up for a bit. Shokia and Kieran went off to do some girl stuff.
Come on, Kieran. Let's go do girl stuff.
Watch their animation.
And let him take the lead. Him being all big and all.
Watch their animation.
Investigate this hut. Perhaps they have seen Alliance survivors. Yeah, the hut. Good idea. You go first.
Just frolicking off to do girl stuff. Oh yeah, this is better than the day Deathwing came. Not only is it funnier and better presented, it's also frickin' voice acted. Oh, and continuity. We'll be back to this spot later for a different quest.
Stay out. No visitors. Hey, Gorok. Which girl you like? Shokia or Kieran?
Remember, he's a teenager. Just, again, so much about the Hosen make more sense when you realize that the Hosen are all teenagers.
These statues, they're almost lifelike. Something's wrong. You wanna know who I like? I like Kieran. She got pretty. Everything was going great. I felt like we was really bonding.
Yes,
After
Huthor.
inspecting statues, we saw this old lady Pandaren come out the house.
Hello?
Oh, hello, dear.
What manner of creature are you? She pauses, her eyes growing wide. I've never seen anyone like you before. I'm an orc, ma'am. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Oh, questions? You, orc, will make an excellent addition to my family.
Oh.
So, Gorok, you think I have chance with Kieran? What the Oaken Hawk?
And he runs.
Rico feel happy that Wicked is here.
So, as you can see, none of this is Rico's fault.
All right, Rico, I think we've heard enough. Kieran can tell the next part.
You look delicious.
Our prisoner's strange. He carries no weapon and his garb is untraditional. Perhaps he's a lord of some kind. With luck, we might have captured someone valuable.
Bring me back something tasty.
Most of what Rico said is true. We didn't dare pursue Gorok. The Horde's numbers are far too few. Our forces can only sustain so many losses, and frankly, we don't know how powerful that witch really is. Let me pick up where the Hosen left off.
We traveled south until night fell. Shokia spoke.
All right, Kieran. Rico. We'll set up camp soon. First, we'll take advantage of this darkness to do some reconnaissance.
Good idea. I'll scout that area up ahead.
And I will protect Kieran from danger.
No, Rico. You stay here. Try not to get anyone killed this time.
Aw, Doker.
Also, not really fair, if we're being honest. Alright, let's do girl stuff, guys.
I'll cover you from here. It's dark, so you'll have to mark my targets for me. Rendezvous back here when you're done.
I found some smoke bombs in my pockets. They'd have to do.
Interesting.
If I encountered enemies, I'd hit them with the smoke. Shokia's sniper rifle would take care of the rest.
So, interesting little bug that happened during Pandora Remix. They actually fixed this very quickly, but right towards the beginning. So, these enemies spawn based on, for lack of a better way to put it, how many players are active at a time. And that smoke bomb had a cooldown, which meant that you could have so many spawning because so many players were doing these quests for the Pandaria Remix that it would outpace the cooldown. And you would get swarmed and die doing this quest. For the record, the same thing happened on the Alliance. I thought that was wildly funny, personally.
Campfire up ahead, on the eastern side of the statue.
They did fix it, in the interest of honesty, but it was funny.
Don't move, human. I've got you cornered.
Notice the name of that raccoon.
Do you have me cornered, undead?
Called Harmless Raccoon.
I've got backup. Watch this.
Sorry, Harmless Raccoon.
I see.
You're lucky I don't kill you right now. You look delicious. I returned back to camp with my quarry. Shokia would be pleased.
Yeah, that raccoon will actually come up in the future. No, really, that's not a joke.
Have you brought fresh corpses? Hmm?
And that's how we found our Alliance captive. But that's not all that happened, not by a long shot.
Rico time! I know what happened next! Pick me! Over here! Rico can speak like wicked! Some hosen call Rico a traitor.
We weren't only looking for Alliance, you know. We're looking for the snooped-up, tick-flickling Jinyu. Well, we found him, all right.
So we kept going south until Shokia started whining about something.
Look, up ahead. An Alliance bomber.
I see it, Shokia. I'll go take a look.
Shokia watched prisoner, while Kieran went ahead.
Don't you dare follow her, Rico. I don't want you messing things up again.
No, you tick-joggling orc! Rico done following you stupid orders! Maybe Rico lost temper. Little bit. You nothing but a blick-cheeking, dickety-doke-maker with an oak for a head! Yelling at Shokia wasn't doing nothing. Rico decided to follow Kieran.
The voice actor just sells Rico so well.
All of a sudden, I heard noise. Kieran was trapped in Jinyu nets. I save you, Kieran!
Come closer, friend.
Oh my god. They're here. Save yourself, Rico. Never! Rico protect you to death!
All right. Time to kill some squeaking Jinyu. Come at me, Bruckers! I cracked knuckles and got ready for fight.
I just feel like repeating that insult out loud. Is that okay? You nothing but a blick jicklin dickly duke maker with an ook for a head. Yeah, by the way, for the record, I'm not joking. Rico here and Kieran actually end up as a freaking couple. In fact, by all accounts, Rico ends up bucking the trends.
Went up to Kieran to ask for my...
And lives longer than your average hosen.
Rico, you saved my life.
So, can Rico get kiss?
Of course. Let me just take off my mask.
What the ook is wrong with your face? You chicken dead? Rico is lover and fighter, and duker.
Yeah, I'll run away. So blickin' what? If it weren't for me, Kieran would be dead. Oh, wait. She's already dead. Already. Go away. Rico's head hurts.
The important thing is that these Jinyu and Alliance have joined forces. Come speak with me. I can give you the final part of our report. Oh, am I still alive?
With our leader turned to Jade, our Hosen guy disappeared, and our prisoner of war in tow, there's only one thing Kieran and I could do. March into enemy territory and deliver vengeance.
We set up a small camp in the hills above the Jinyu village. With nobody to watch over our prisoner, I had to make sure he was incapable of escaping. What?
Stuns are always non-lethal.
I approached my sniper rifle and took aim at the Jinyu village. Kieran had made it to the Jinyu village. I spotted her lurking in some bushes on the village's edge.
Nice work back there. One more time.
I admit, I don't really have a good reason for this, but I was really impressed by this exact quest back in the
Let's
day.
see if my Hosen poison works on Jinyu. Try not to blow me up, Shokia.
The center of the Jinyu village was clear. Just to be safe, Kieran planted some explosive barrels for me to shoot.
Oh, sorry, Kieran. I didn't actually mean to do that. Believe it or not. I was trying to figure out whatever that is.
That'll teach the Jinyu and the Alliance to mess with us. Let's get out of here. Shokia! They've spotted me! Give me cover!
I was gonna say, they've never gotten rid of secrets, ever, to my knowledge. But you never know.
The coast was clear. Kieran began to make her escape. Damn! Another Jinyu net! We were so close, too! I sensed a commotion in the village's eastern island.
I'm back, you dukers!
You got him, Rico.
I on way, Kieran, and I don't care about you weird dead face!
Rico.
I love how horrifically honest that is, too. I don't care about your weird dead face. I mean, if we're being honest, especially for a Hosen, it probably is weird to see someone who's walking around talking to them who is dead. They don't have necromancy in Pandaria. Like, at all.
Come on, Kieran. Let's get the hook out of here.
Whoa, camera. Okay. The most he could argue is that the soul shaping that the Mogu did, and that was a long time ago.
We will succeed.
Well, and the flesh crafting, but that's just gross. The most important thing we learned was not only have the Alliance befriended the Jinyu, but they're giving them weapons and teaching them how to use them. The Alliance now control a force that numbers us 30 to 1, and we, the Horde, have befriended monkeys!
I aim to serve, and I never miss.
Let me replace Admiral Taylor's ring here. What's this, an Alliance boy? Here. I know your face. You're the son of Varian Rin. Sir, I demand to be released into my father's custody. Ha! Make another demand. I'll release your head from your shoulders. Anduin Rin, a fitting reward for the trials we've endured. Come, speak with me. Dare I ask, Huthor?
For the Horde.
Prince Anduin Rin, the very son of our enemy's king. Fortune has smiled on the Horde once again. But there's another side of this coin. We'd be naive to think the child was alone. Any Alliance scum within sight of this land must be searching desperately for their precious princeling. You and I are going to scour the area and rid of his would-be rescuers.
Our orders stand. No.
Yeah, no, I have more respect for Huthor than to presume he would ever look at Asmongold willingly.
What's up? Be good.
One word. Methane. We're going green. Clean burning, high availability, all natural. And it'll keep the druids back off of my back when we get back to our neck of the world. That and I ran out of blasting powder. So I need your help. No, no, no. I wouldn't ask you to do the dirty work. Not in front of the general. I'll collect the deposits myself. I'm gathering some wood for an outhouse. I'm thinking long-term here.
Keep it real.
That's true, Linnea. That's a valid point. Alright, hit me, Huthor. How bad is it? Let me guess. Blade's Edge. Best zone in the entire universe. Worst zone? Westfall. Well, no, that's a Kata zone. I guess I haven't really reviewed any Kata zone, or classic zones, with the exception of Dustwallow Marsh, and Silithus, and technically Arathi, so that's it. I mean, would you do actual work if you didn't have to? I would. Because I'm not a lazy, slovenly sack of crap. But most people wouldn't. They're like, you know. Who cares if it's a buggy, unfinished mess? People are still going to buy it. Look, I'm just going to keep spitting venom at streamers, and we're just going to accept that that's a thing, because I hate them and they're awful and they deserve to die. Moving on. All streamers. I'm sorry. This is worst? You said from bad to worst, which is kind of a weird order. I guess these are just all the bads. Okay, I can feel that. So, alright, Cressring Wilds, already disagree. And Tauren Wastes, we'll see. Mechagon, again, we'll see. I don't have a lot of memories of Mechagon, to be honest with you. I don't know, Papaneeks. Do you do reaction content? I remember Mechagon the dungeon more than Mechagon the zone. Because I've done that mythic several times. Number 4. The best zone in the entire game. Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, pound for pound, BFA had 4 out of 6 zones that were pretty good. By memory. That's not exactly a bad ratio. Zarlik Caverns? Okay, at this point, he's just trolling to get people to react. Isaac said that's a good point. If there had to be a worst zone, you know, someone has to be the worst zone, right, in expansion. That being said, I would not pick Zaralik as my worst zone in Dragonflight. I would pick the Forbidden Reach. Not a huge fan. I mean, it's still a good zone. It's still a Dragonflight zone, but like compared to the others, nah. That is not true, Yura. Everyone likes the exact same thing. Everyone in the world agrees that Streets of Rage 4 is the best game ever made.
The tip of the Horde spear. No greater honor.
Yes. By Thrall's bloodied fist. What? I've missed hunting Alliance.
Hellscream's eyes are upon you.
Look, these Alliance dogs built a camp on the ridge. Here, take my grog. Let's make a fire they can see from Stormwind.
May our foes flee before you.
Vashir. I have nothing to add to that.
Hey, how you doing? Be good.
Gotta watch out for the wet ones.
Have a good one.
The smell of progress and methane.
Keep it real. Yo, be good.
It's an emergency. It looks like you stirred up a hornet's nest, killing all them fish folk. They're conducting a full-on counterattack. I was hoping to get some R&D time, but we're gonna have to put my methane grenade through to work right away. Meet me on the east side of the fort and bring your throwing arm.
Keep it real.
You got it. Tol Barad, huh? That's kind of cheating.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's like picking Ashran. That's not even a zone. Let's see, what was my worst endgame Kata zone? Oh, well, that's not even a contest at that point. Oh yeah, let me do this little fling poo. I mean grenades quest. I have actually... a triangle strategy is on the list, and a friend of mine's already beaten it, Mad Overlord. So for the curious, which is probably none of you, but I was just curious myself. The worst of the endgame Kata zones for us was Oldham, with a net score of -1. Now, that's because there's a lot of good and a lot of bad in Oldham. So it pretty much averaged out to be almost neutral. After that, it looks like it would be the Twilight Highlands at a net +12. Hey, no!
Blood and thunder.
God damn it, I wasn't even looking at the screen. Net +12 for whatever I just mentioned. Twilight Highlands. Above Twilight Highlands is Deepholm at a 13. And then tied for first is Vashir and Mount Hyjal. Technically, Vashir should take that, but Vashir was buried in bugs, so...
Time is money, friend.
Let's try this again. Deathless for vanilla, huh?
What's up?
I'd say repelling the attack is an understatement. Right.
Have a good one.
For the Horde. Come what may, we fight on.
Interesting.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Alliance.
Blood and thunder, my axe hungers. We won't return to Orgrimmar till every last Alliance is purged from this land. I'll train the natives myself if I have to. One way or another, this land will be made ready for Horde settlement. In the meantime, their chief gave me this message to pass on to you. Something about neutral, non-faction quests.
Fear nothing.
It's almost as though you have a lust for power, and you need to go and fulfill that lust for new gear and equipment. And I can't even do it. I can't even move it. I can't make sense. Zuldrak for Wrath, huh? Well, let's see. Since we've done Wrath, I could actually tell you mathematically which one was the worst for Wrath for us. And that would be... hesitating for a few seconds, because I know you can already guess it. Yeah, it's Icecrown. Icecrown was a net -6. There were quite a few positives for Icecrown, but they were just buried in negatives. It's Icecrown, then Dragonblight. The best zone in Northrend, by a decent margin, is Storm Peaks. Storm Peaks, Howling Fjord, and the Grizzly Hills in that order. For BC... I'm sorry, I just see a sea of red, which means negative numbers. So obviously the worst zone in BC was Blade's Edge. Duh. The second one is also one that will not surprise anybody who has actually played it, which is Blood Mist. Immediately after Blood Mist is Ghostlands, which will also not surprise anybody who ever did it. Our top three were Netherstorm, no surprise there, and then a tie between Nagrand and Eversong. Well, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and chop off. Tomorrow we will go ahead and see a slightly different perspective on the Jade Forest. I'll see you there, guys.